here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, I want to talk to you about a strategy we've been using in our chat room nonstop that's been crushing it, done by Levi, our head options trader, a great friend of mine and one of my old students. He has been crushing it in our options chat room. It's been open now for 6 months. The community is growing, and he's been doing a fantastic job teaching classes and then trading live in front of his students. You know, he's been crushing it really all year, but you can see some of these trades here. NVIDIA, 71% today. Man, you got Tesla, QQQs. Man, he's been all over, like, man, 40% Amazon yesterday. Very, very tactical trader. He's not a YOLO trader that goes for like 200, 500% gains. He's a base hit guy, but those base hits are very big. And I want to talk to you about a Fibonacci bounce strategy that he's been using and fade strategy he's been using, and I've been copying it too because it's just so damn successful that we're going to go over it in detail today. If you're not familiar with his work, check out the webinar that he did just 2 weeks ago on Fibonacci sequences and how he utilizes them. It's completely free. It's like an hour and a half, and it's just jam-packed with information. You guys are going to just love what he does. So let's go into this. So we trade mostly blue chip stocks, right? At least for options. You know, when we're trading the other stuff, you know, like then we go commons, you know, like your, you know, Coinbases and, you know, that kind of fun stuff, your firms and so on and so forth. But for options trading, you can use the big name guys and use options to supercharge your results, but you can use a couple simple strategies that will crush. So we use the 50% and the 61.8% fibs. Levi has all his own indicators programmed into Thinker so they're auto drawing. Our students, people that take his class, get access to his momentum indicators, his zone indicators, and his fib stuff. I personally just use the fibs. I don't use the zone stuff because I got too much stuff on the charts. I find the fibs very, very effective. So want to go to you about a trade that we took in the chat room today. The first one was on this Tesla. Tesla opened up and spiked down at the open down into 232 and then popped right into the fib zone, into the 235s, like right off at the open. And everybody usually when that happens gets all excited and they start buying, right? Because they're sensing some type of red to green. You know, we came in short on this first thing in the morning. Man, right, first thing in the morning, we came short on this bad boy with the 235 puts. And this type of strategy, like, you can really crush it pretty good. Like, so as soon as this thing starts to bounce, right? As soon as this thing starts to bounce into the fib zone, and I'm just using my TC1000 to show you the options pricing, right? What we're going to be doing, we added the puts around 40 cents, and dude, it's just a scalp strategy, right? We had the 235 puts at 40 cents, and then as it starts to drift lower, right, we're kind of covering into this, and it runs about 80 cents. So 100% gain, we scale out along the way. So nothing crazy, once again, just a base hit. But this is the beauty of like what I love that he does. So later on, Tesla starts to trend. So I only do the first test, right? So Tesla starts to trend and it busts through the 238. Now this is the simplest strategy. When it busts through, that first pullback into that fib zone, like I want to buy. And it also has a confluence, right? So if you see here, like we've got a confluence. Let me open this up a little bit. But we've got a confluence here with your EMAs and your fib right here. So it pulls right back into your 20 EMA, and then you've also got your Fibonacci zone right there. And so you're talking like you're coming in right at 236. I use the options on this again, and so I'll usually go the next strike price up, and that's what Levi was doing in the chat room today. So we'll come in on the 237s, and so like as this is pulling into the thing, right, we're adding in the calls at 110, 120, right into this fib zone, and then boom, right, it's off to the races at 240. Guys, this is so simple, right? And so you're coming in at and getting this thing anywhere in this zone. Like I added a 120, I'm a little bit of a chaser by nature, then you can start to see, right, because it's Friday, it's 0 DTE. These things can really, really shred. So this thing comes all the way into the $3 mark. So you're up over 2x. And of course, we're scaling out along the way. And your target is always the red to green spot. A lot of times people will piker this and try to buy up here at the red to green. But when you're this extended, like you go from 232 to 240, you have to sell into that. Why? Think about ATR. So the ATR of Tesla is $9. You've come from 232 to 240. The gas is done. Where people, the rookies, are buying, that's where you're selling. And then if you really think about it, like because options move so wild on Fridays, dude, you're coming in from 1 to 3 anyways, like really, really quickly. I mean, that's really all you need. Then later on, like if you look in the day trading chat room, you know, I use this stuff for even my own stuff. So I added coin multiple times today. So we added at 196, 129.60. I sold some, and then I started reloading it. 130, I added some. A full size. Then I had another half size. I averaged up 130.97. And I started building into this. And so this is a pretty simple thing. So if you look over here, right, coin starts to bust through here to 130.60. When it pulls back into the zone, I add a full-size position into this. And then what's happening is, like, as this thing is building, right, and dipping back in, I'm adding more size into this. I'm adding more size into this so that I can get a home run play. The reason I'm adding more size, I normally won't scale in this manner. The reason I'm adding more size into this is because if you look at the price of Bitcoin today, holy crap, let me get you a little chart of Bitcoin here, but the price of Bitcoin was going bajunker. So this is right at about 1130, right? So look at where I'm adding over here, 1130. So I'm adding into the support zone while Bitcoin starts to go on this huge ramp from 38 to 39. So I want to get a piece of this. So coin is having a late reaction to Bitcoin. So I'm coming in at the 131 calls, right? And I'm adding as you're starting to go into this because I have such a high level probability with Bitcoin going so nuts. So if you go into coin, like this is like a bread and butter type of thing. Like you guys can do this, right? So like as this thing is pulling back, right? I'm adding in the calls in the $1 zone, right? $1 zone. And then when it starts to go, because it's Friday, dude, you start to get this huge push, right? You go from $1 to $3, and man, I held out pretty good. Like I ended up selling off, man, I sold off most of it, right? The last 1/4 at 134.20, and those calls were up like almost about 200%. So like pretty big move. And you don't got to go crazy on the size. Like, you know, something like a coin, like I might have 20 contracts or 30 contracts, cost you $3,000, right? You don't have to go so big and be like, wow, I'm going to have, you know, put 20 grand into this and it's going to double or anything like that, because the reverse happens too, right? If the shit hits the bed, then you're going to lose all your money. So you got to be really careful and make sure that we use these kind of instruments to get some leverage, but also take smaller amounts of money so that if it, you know, hits the shitter, we don't have that much into it. So big Friday for the Bulls team. Guys, Levi's been crushing it in this, you know, in this game all year. I mean, go through his stuff. We have a free trial, by the way. I'm going to include a link to it. He's got a free trial and a boot camp course that he's doing. He's got a live course starting in about a month. And we've been working our butts off getting that together. So come in, take his free trial. I'm putting a link in for you guys. And then also we've got a free options training in terms of how to use these fibs and stuff like that. I'll make sure to link that in with you guys. Have an awesome weekend. Dude, this market is hot. It might be even here to stay for a little bit. So definitely get your study on this weekend because, man, look at some of this stuff, man. Etsy up 8% today. Like, look at the calls on Etsy. look at these 81 calls are up 3,000 to 78. So, like, you know, even if you're hitting this thing at 76, like, you're coming in pretty big on some of these, right? These are outlier moves. The market is hot. We're getting a lot of outlier moves. These are what we call account builder type days. You want to get a part of it. This is the time to be aggressive when the market's showing us these things. So let me know if you have any questions, guys. Take care. Shalom. Have a good weekend. Check out Levi's free trial. He's been crushing it. I'll see everybody in the Boom Boom Room on Monday.